It's really good to see someone like Riley Gaines actually stick to their guns, especially when I first saw that exchange on Twitter between Megan Rapinoe and Riley Gaines. I was really concerned that we might have another, very fair weather conservative type person, very fair weather person fighting for the right things, fighting for common sense. We might have another fair weather person when it comes to that stuff, but it seems like we actually do have somebody who has some balls. Ironically enough, Riley Gaines seems to have some balls when it comes to Twitter, when it comes to protecting the United States, protecting the Western world, and what it really should be. It's really good to see because, like I said, at first when I saw Riley Gaines tweet at Megan Rapinoe or Rapinoe, I don't know how to say her name. I'm just gonna say Rapinoe. When I first saw Riley Gaines tweet at Megan Rapinoe and then delete it, I was like, oh great, we have another one of these on our hands. But then Riley Gaines tweeted at her again. We'll check all of that out. But Riley Gaines definitely did destroy Megan Rapinoe, and Riley Gaines is seemingly becoming a face for this kind of movement, for the anti-men competing in women's sports movement, which is really good that we have somebody who's actually competing in there, speaking out against this stuff. It's really good. Here is Riley Gaines doubled down. This article is from Outkick, by the way. Riley Gaines doubled down on criticism of Megan Rapinoe late Tuesday morning. The former Kentucky swimmer called out Megan Rapinoe late Monday night for being fine with biological men competing against women in sports. She also claimed Rapinoe, who is gay, could never have a daughter to defend because she's not sexually attracted to men. Rapinoe, who signed a letter opposing a policy suggestion that would protect women's sports, could have a child through sperm donor or adoption. Gaines later deleted the tweets early Tuesday morning. By the way, I never asked for this in any of my videos, but I'm told that I'm a YouTuber and I need to start asking for this stuff. But please, if you enjoy videos like this, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. I try to post every single day. Let's get back into it. Gaines later deleted the tweets early Tuesday morning, and here is the original tweets of her responding to Megan Rapinoe. Megan Rapinoe originally said, "Today, politicians in D.C. are claiming to protect women's sports by pushing a trans/intersex sports ban. Call your congressional rep today to say women's sports need protection from unequal pay, sexual abuse, and lack of resources, not from trans kids." I really don't feel like getting into this. Women's sports need to be paid more stuff. But it's such a stupid argument, dude. Like, obviously, women in male sports, or male and female sports, exist for a reason. The fact that there's a women's division in sports isn't because the men can't compete with the women. It's because the women can't compete with the men. And if there was no female division, then there would be no female professional sports. There would be maybe one or two, possibly. I don't even know if that would even happen. But there might be a couple of outliers every 5 or 10 years that might make it into professional sports if there was no women's division. It's the same thing even with video games, dude, with esports. It's the same thing. If there was no women division, then there would be no women in sports, in professional sports. And it's not because everybody hates women and we don't want to see women in professional sports just simply because they're women. It's because professional sports exist so that we can see the highest level of play. And if there's women involved, they're just not as physically adept as men are. So we wouldn't be seeing the highest level of play. Therefore, the entertainment value isn't there for most sports. There's some sports where watching females is actually a little bit more entertaining, if not just as entertaining as the male side of things, especially when it comes to tennis. People like watching female tennis more. Female MMA is starting to get up there as well. I don't know. I don't really like watching the females just because I like to see the highest level of play. And when it comes to soccer, when it comes to basketball, there's not even a female football as far as I know. I think there's like a lingerie league or something like that. When it comes to like women's basketball, dude, those people do not deserve equal pay. They can't even dunk. Like, dude, if two players in your league can dunk, as opposed to you're not making it in the NBA unless you can dunk, like you don't deserve equal pay and you don't deserve close to it. The WNBA loses money. But I could go on with that for hours, dude, and I don't feel like making this video into that kind of thing because that argument is just so bored to me. Like, if you actually think that women sports deserve equal pay to male sports, then you're just a really low IQ individual. But anyway, that's what Megan Rapinoe had to say. Here is what Riley Gaines responded to this, and this was the original tweets, the deleted ones. She says, "It's worth noting that you are 1, done playing sports competitively, and 2, because you aren't sexually attracted to men, you will never have a daughter to defend. To me, this simply looks like virtue signaling because you have nothing to personally lose." She also says, "I can respect opinions that differ from my own, and everyone is entitled to think/speak independently. But I can't help but think Megan Rapinoe would genuinely shiv any male who tried to take her spot on the U.S. women's national team." And I was like, yeah, that's a really base statement. That's a great statement. It was made at 3:30 a.m. So maybe she kind of regretted some of the statements that she made in here because some of the arguments don't actually add up completely. When it comes to never being able to have a daughter to defend, you can, have daughters, have children in alternate ways, even if you're not attracted to men. sperm donors or whatever the case may be. I can respect opinions that differ from my own. That's great. I think the second tweet was really good. I think it was pretty funny. Would genuinely shiv any male who tried to take her spot on the U.S. women's national team. Made me laugh the first time I read it because it's true. You know, it really is. It's true. Like, it seems hyperbolic and everything, but Megan Rapinoe seems like a crazy person. She really does seem like a crazy person. So I think it's true. Obviously, that's the deleted tweets. And I thought, after I saw her delete those tweets, I was like, damn, we have another one of these in our hands. You know, another person with no balls that just wants to farm retweets and likes, but couldn't actually handle the heat. But it seems like Riley Gaines actually, that's not why she deleted the tweet, where she said you would never have a daughter to defend. She actually amended that in her new tweets. Let's check that out. It's worth noting that, one, you are done with your athletic career, and because you aren't sexually attracted to men, it's unlikely you will ever have a daughter to defend. So she changed it from you will never have to it's unlikely that you will have. To me, this looks like a classic case of virtue signaling because you have nothing to personally lose. I can respect opinions that differ from my own, and everyone is entitled to think/speak independently, but I can't help but think Megan Rapinoe would genuinely shiv any male who tried to take her spot on the U.S. women's national team. So she didn't back down from any of the points that she was making at all. She doubled down on everything, and she made it a little bit more logically sound. But also, after this whole situation at San Francisco State University happened with Riley Gaines, where she was pretty much assaulted, San Francisco State University responded by thanking the protesters after Riley Gaines was attacked. Gaines was attacked by a violent mob for speaking out against men taking over women's sports. She was assaulted, and the mob demanded money for her safe release. I think that's a little bit overblown as far as what I know of the situation. I'm not an expert on it, but I think that, you know, saying that she was like kidnapped and demanded money for her safe release, I think that's a little bit overblown, but it is a little bit insane that whole situation went down. And also have this, ESPN has not covered the Riley Gaines attack, you know, at the San Francisco State University thing. You would think that that's something that ESPN, if they had any sort of moral values, which they don't, but if they did, they would cover it at least a little bit. They would at least mention it, especially while mentioning Lia Thomas last month as part of Women's History Month campaign for calling himself a woman in the swimming pool while he competes against women. You would think that if Lia Thomas would be honored during that whole situation, then Riley Gaines would at least get some recognition whenever she's attacked by a mob at San Francisco State University. But that's not who ESPN is. They've never been about fairness. They've only been about pushing the agenda that they want to push. Charlie Kirk also tweeted this after Riley Gaines was assaulted at San Francisco State University. The university has victim shamed her, praised the agitators as peaceful, blamed gender bias for the backlash to men in women's sports, claims there was too much security. Dear San Francisco State University, how about you start apologizing to Riley? It's so funny how the gender bias thing is coming to, so now men are oppressed, but only when they compete in women's sports. Anywhere else in life, the women are oppressed and men have the biological advantage everywhere else. You know, we are the oppressors everywhere else in life, but whenever we're competing in women's sports, we are oppressed, even though we absolutely dominate in women's sports. I'm telling you, man, it's the end times. All you can really do is laugh at this stuff and keep pointing out the hypocrisy, keep pointing out how horrible people these people like ESPN are, the people who are attacking Riley Gaines, Megan Rapinoe, all the people who follow Megan Rapinoe and all those other types of weirdos. All you can do is laugh and keep pointing out the hypocrisy, man. If people want to open their eyes, if people want to open their mind up and realize how hypocritical those people are, how stupid and how misled those people are, how brainwashed they are, then they will. If they don't want to realize and want to continue down the path of being brainwashed, then they will. There's nothing that we can do other than just laugh and point out the hypocrisy and stop being so nice to these people. They don't deserve empathy. They don't deserve any of that stuff, man. They don't deserve us being nice to them. They don't deserve our apologies. We just have to stand our ground. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about the whole situation. What do you think about the Riley Gaines tweets at Megan Rapinoe? And what do you think about Riley Gaines being assaulted at SFSU? Let me know what you guys think about the entire situation. Please leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I hope to see you in the next one.